Alright, welcome back everybody, and we are going to do a video today about spider mites. And this is the first time I've ever actually seen spider mites in my greenhouse, so I've never seen this before. And I'm not sure where they could have come from, but here they are. And so, first thing you want to notice is the spider mite damage. And so in general, oftentimes when you see spider mites and the damage they do, it'll look just like this. Okay, now we're not talking about the holes because we have flea beetles in here too. Alright, so we have flea beetles right there, and they're the ones that are making the actual holes in the leaf. What we're talking about with spider mites is you could see this weird kind of scaling effect, if you will. You can see the leaf here. It's heavily damaged, and you can't really tell what it is until you take a really close look at it. It kind of looks like maybe it could just be maybe something's wrong with the plant, but it's not the plant, guys. You see how it's like off colored, the leaf is dying. These are microscopic little creatures that you can't even see with the naked eye. You would never know you have spider mites until you're able to identify the damage that they do. So with that said, we're going to put this leaf down, and I got to be real careful. One of the things you want to be aware of with spider mites is especially that they like to hitchhike onto your clothes, and next thing you know, you're going to be dragging these things all over your greenhouse and your garden, and you're going to have a major problem on your hands. So one of the things you got to keep in mind is you don't want to have them get on you and then you spread them around. You don't even know they're on you if they get on you. So that's one of the first things you got to do. The second thing is once you realize you have them, it's not the end of the world. Some people struggle with them, but if you have a good type of insecticide, you'll be able to kill them pretty easily. So we're going to show you what I'm going to use, and then we'll spray this down. But I want to show you what they look like first, and so you probably can't see it. There's a cluster up here. Now, they're all over this plant. You just can't see them because they're virtually microscopic. And so we don't want to touch the plant because they really don't want them to spread. However, one of the things you want to look for, I don't think you're going to see it very well, there's a web here. Now, you may or may not see webs with spider mites. And the reason why that is they don't always make webs. But they do make a web. And they, they're like spiders. And they crawl around on this web. Now, I'm really hoping I can get this on here. So I did take a piece of cardboard and spray painted it specifically for this reason. And I really want to try to capture this. So just give me a second as I set this up. Okay, so now you can see them crawling around in that web. Those are what spider mites look like. You can't see them with the naked eye. You're just little spots that you see crawling around, but there's literally tens of millions of them. And that's what they look like there. Now, and they're all over here too. You can see they just, because the paint is still kind of wet, and they all stuck to it like they just got stuck to it. Now you can see there's a clustering of them over here. At the very top of that, you can see at the very top, right there, we're in the corner. You can see that right up there. You can see a massive cluster of them. Okay, they're probably going into a reproduction frenzy. Okay, you can see them crawling up and down that web. They are absolutely going nuts. As soon as I came here, they start going nuts. And so that's what spider mites actually look like. Normally, you won't even see. I'll just put that down for a second. You won't normally even see that. You'll just see the damage, and you'll never see them. I specifically left it this way so they can go into a, an overbreeding frenzy. And I don't really care about this plant because this plant's pretty much done making its fruit. And so I'm not going to bring it in for the winter. And we're done with it anyway. I got plenty of fruit on here. This is called a cannibal tomato. So apparently these insects really like this plant. But I'm not going to be bringing it in anyway, and the fruits are almost fully ripened, so we're almost done with the plant anyway, so I'm not really concerned about it. However, I do need to kill these things so they don't spread around my greenhouse, and they don't come back next year, and next thing you know, they're on my pepper plants and everything else. That we don't want to happen. So we need to get this now. And it looks like they're already starting to spread onto the... it looks like they're beginning to spread onto the... cucumber plant here. So cucumber plants ain't going to be around too much longer themselves. They're going to be pretty much going bye-bye. But we need to clear all this out and then sanitize this at the end of the year. We're going to spray everything down with a chemical just to make sure we don't get these things spread. So yeah, so that's what they look like. Now, as far as what I'm going to use to treat them is going to be this stuff right here. This is what I'm going to use, and I'm using full strength, and it's ORMI listed, so it's not a chemical. I spray everything with this, but what the problem with this particular stuff is that once the insects get used to it, it's totally ineffective to them. The same thing with the aphids. If you start spraying aphids with this now, like me, for example, with all the aphid problems, it just makes the aphids reproduce even more. So this is completely ineffective to like aphids. Now, spider mites is the first time we're treating them, and the first time we have it, so it's probably going to be okay to first treatment, but I really need to get them good. So they're going to be getting a dose of this, and I also put a few drops of this as well in there, Bonita, and this is the 8 insect control, vegetable fruit flower, leaf miners. It doesn't say spider mites, but believe it or not, it actually helps. So yeah, they're going to be getting a double dosing of that. There's also a little soap in there, and it's just going to stop them in their tracks. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm going to try to capture some images with some high-resolution cameras so I can actually get the reproduction frenzies that you see happening right here. As you can see, right there at the very top of that, you'll see that little brown tip. There's literally hundreds of millions of them over here. That tip right there, there's hundreds of millions of them up there. So they're concentrated on there. You can see them on the web. See them on the web just crawling around, crawling up and down and all that. So this really needs to get hit really good and hard right now. Once I'm done with the video, I'll do it. But yeah, I just wanted to share with you, if you start seeing your plant kind of get this look on the leaf, like this is a very atypical... you're going to see, it's going to look like this. It's going to look like it's getting road rash or something. It's going to really start to look really weird, you know. You're going to be thinking it's a chemical thing. You don't see any insects on it. You rub it. You don't feel anything. That's because these creatures are virtually microscopic, you know, as I showed you before. They're virtually microscopic. You can't even really see them. So, yeah, you probably have spider mites, thrips, scales, or even... there's another one. There's a few of them that are virtually, you know, microscopic. You can't see them to the eye, but they do very similar damage. But yeah, we're going to go and treat this. Yeah, you can see it looks like it's starting to happen up here. It's starting to happen here. And so, yeah, this is probably spider mites up on my, getting up on this thing. That's okay. We only got a few months left, and we'll be pretty much done with these plants anyway, so we'll be ripping them down. But we're going to go ahead and treat that and deal with it. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring awareness to that. If you do come across these things, I want you to realize they're ultra tiny. The damage they do is incredible, and they can virtually kill this entire plant. So if you don't treat it and you don't deal with it, yeah, it'll virtually kill it. If it's, you know, if the damage is too bad, then it's going to die anyway, because they will cause damage. And it's not just this type of damage they do too. They can also look, you know, do other damage. There's other effects that they can do that your plant you may not notice, like the tops will start turning brown and you don't know why. It's usually spider mites or thrips or scales, or there's another one out there that's really, really tiny. I mean, you can't see them with the naked eye. But that's it, guys. So if you have any experience with spider mites and you want to share like what you use to treat these things and how you deal with them, feel free to share your experience and what you use to get rid of them. I've heard some really, really, really bad nightmares with these things. I've heard people actually getting their house infested with them, and they can't get rid of them, and they have to literally get rid of all their plants and everything. Because they got infested with them. These things can absolutely devastate you. So yeah, keep that in mind. They can be a nightmare to deal with, but share your thoughts on it, your experiences, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.